This is the Investing News Network, and I'm Georgia Williams. We're here at the Vancouver Resource Investing Conference, and joining me today is Chris Verrico. This is the Investing News Network, and I'm Georgia Williams. We're here at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, and joining me today is Chris Verrico, President, CEO, and Director of Rio Silver, which trades on the TSXV at ticker symbol RYO and on the OTC at RYOOF. Thanks for joining me today, Chris.
Hey, Georgia. Thank you for having me.
How's the conference been so far?
I've never seen one like it. I've been doing them for many years, and this is really something exceptional.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of background on Rio Silver?
Well, Rio Silver's been around for quite a while, and we had some phenomenal projects that are still in play. We had probably one of the best disseminated silver projects in Peru that's undeveloped. Nobody cared about it a few years ago, and they were getting very expensive. And we're not getting any younger. So some young guys came along and they were going to give it, so we made a very good deal with them. And we've got major milestone payments, like $2 million US in milestone payments. We've got 5 million shares of their stock. We've got 2% royalty and guaranteed $100,000 a year guaranteed royalty payments, advanced royalty payments. So we're big fans of that project still. I mean, it's phenomenal. But what we focused on, which is more akin to my background, is mining. It's underground mining, high grade veins that you can just drive on these veins and just get going. And the project we're doing now, the Maria Norte, is something I've been looking for 25 years in Peru, and we've collectively spent a lot of money looking around. And my partners, who we've actually bought this project from, have staked it 18 years ago, anticipating the day. So, well, I could even elaborate on more. They actually sold a SilverX, the majority or half of the property, and now made it a contiguous block at the Tangana unit, which is probably SilverX's most fundamental main focus at the moment. We are immediately across the valley from them. The vein systems run right across the valley and up onto our property, about 5 major vein sets with splays coming off all over the place. We've got to do a lot more surface mapping. Very little mapping been done. But there's a regional fault that comes across this valley. So everything on our side of the valley tends to be base metals poor, but precious metals rich. The precious metals didn't pay the bills 20 years ago or beyond when they were working in the area. These are all base metals mines. SilverX was a base metals mine. They mined it for 40 or 50 years for the lead and zinc. Silver was a minor issue. It was a major component, but not the major component. But of course, times have changed now. The value of silver has increased. Base metals are sort of flat now. They've been flat for 10 years, the lead and zinc anyways. And so they actually did an exploration at it. It was the Benavides family. They're probably the wealthiest mining family in Peru, perhaps South America. This is where they cut their teeth in this whole Huachicolpa basin. The old man, Alfredo Benavides, he started there in the late 50s, early 60s. He built the Recuperada mill, which is there still today, which is SilverX's primary mill. He built mines all in around and around, and he was actually working up at the Tangana sometime in the early 70s. And they mined there for since the 70s until, the early 2000s. So somewhere in that time, I'm not sure, it was a longer time, but the earlier part of that campaign, they had come across the valley and they put a drift through our Maria Norte vein, our Maria vein. And they were looking for bonanza base metals, 30, 40% combined lead zinc. That's typically what these guys are looking for. But they never found it. And as they drove across, everything went over the bank and the waste dump. So there's a rumor, we don't have any data, but there's rumored to be a 400-meter drive. And you can see by the size of the waste dump, it's all been reclaimed, but by the volume of material, it's just about correlates with what the rumor stands up to the rumor. We took a sample, and the guys probably took one of the better rocks. That's what prospectors do. But it was 12.5 ounces of silver and 2.5 grams of gold in the dump. All that material went in the dump. I suppose at one time, although they're a bit touchy about it with the regulations, we had to do a complete engineering plan. That stuff's going to get carted off to the mill at some point. But we're not. Anyways, we're just going to get back underneath that main drive where those guys were previously 40 years ago. We're going to come in underneath it with a main drive right down that vein set. These are prominent veins. They're 3/4 to 1.25 meters, 1.5 meters wide. You can see them. They trace these veins up and over the mountain. We've got sort of 200 meters of vertical relief, and we've traced the vein over like a kilometer basically. We're focusing on 600 meters of it right now. And we just drive on these veins. These are very, very vertical vein structures. We just drive on the vein with a wider, a 2.5 meter 2.5 meter by 2.5 meter access tunnel. And we're mining ore as we go all the time. We're always working in ore. It's paying the bills quite handsomely at these prices. But all the material above us becomes resource. So later on, we back up and then we start stope development and everything above us. And that gives us more working phases. So even just the working phase of driving this adit right across, we'll pay. Well, our cash cost will be about $20 an ounce for silver, because we're moving a lot more waste rock. We're developing this major access. But later on as we get going, when we're strictly working on the stopes, our cash cost will come down to $12 or $15 probably, or perhaps even 10. I mean, it's entirely possible. So even at the worst case scenario, the $20 a ton cash cost, we have $113 silver.
Yeah, those are amazing economics.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we can't believe it. I mean, if we had been talking about this 3 months ago, they all would have thought we're on glue or something. I mean, seriously. So anyway, it's all coming true. Obviously, a fantastic conference, all sorts of offers. I mean, we priced it. We had quite a reasonable, a low price financing. I made a lot of people money. They're extremely happy, and they all want to give us more. So I mean.
Good problems to have.
These are all good problems to have. Yeah, Georgia, thank you. Yeah.
You recently initiated the regulatory processes for the Maria Norte.
Correct, yeah.
What are your expectations around timelines and next steps?
It's all going to come in lockstep. Our group. Well, we're part of a larger group in Peru. Peruvian Metals. We share back offices with Peruvian Metals. Our people. We've been working together. This group has been working together. For 20, 25 years. The geologist that sold us, Jeff Reeder, he's been down there 32 years. He sold Silver X, the half of what's now the Tangana, but he'll tell everybody, I didn't sell the best. We've got it. But so anyways, that group of people, they've always got their permits in a timely fashion. We've never not gotten a community permit, not ever. This particular group, like I was explaining earlier, the Benavides family have been working in there all their life. Alfredo he's actually a benevolent kind of a guy. He looked after the people very well. He wouldn't shut the mine down even when it became uneconomic, because he didn't want to lay anybody off. He's just one of those kind of people, and he was very generous with his money. And so we're in a part of Peru that really appreciate mining. They like the jobs. They've been treated very well, and we don't intend to change that. So
right.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned all of this mine waste. Well, not even waste, like actual asset. So how much does that impact, the economics of the project looking forward?
We're not considering it at all.
Yeah.
No. And the other part we're not considering is we can also immediately go up on surface, and we can mine the veins up on surface, and then we can reclaim everything. But that can be very lucrative as well. But all that stuff can offset our main focus. So we'll consistently come out with good numbers, production numbers, because we have all kinds of ways of backstopping that, and adding on to that in other ways. So there's a surface material, there's a waste dump material. There's a number of venues towards cash flow. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I know 2026 just started, but what can investors look forward to this year from Rio Silver?
Well, I mean, we're going to, like I explained, we're developing on ore, so we're always in ore. We're producing ore. We'll be producing ore third and fourth quarter. I can't call it ore. I can call it mineralized material, because ore implies that there's been a feasibility study, and there hasn't been. We're just doing what Peruvians do. We're just Peruvians now. And they've done it for 400 years. They just drive on these high-grade veins, exactly as I explained earlier, and that's very much what we'll do. But what we'll do is, once we're underground, we will set up some drill stations. We can quite efficiently drill underneath us and put those material, all that stuff in a resource category, without having to drill from surface. Because the Andes Mountains are just formidable, and we'd have to drill a 200 to 300 meter hole to get a meter hit. Would be extremely expensive. We can do that from underground very cost effectively, and we can scalp together a resource in really short order. I mean, I'm saying Q1 or Q2 of 27. So that will back up, but what they can expect is investors will see us having concentrate sales in third, fourth quarter. They'll see the grades and the results of what we're doing. But we'll be producing concentrate. So we're in production, and like I explained, we think our cash costs early will be $20, and they'll only reduce. They'll only get better as we start getting more efficient on them, getting opened up underground. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of milestones to look forward to.
Yeah, thank you, Georgia. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having us. Yeah, it was wonderful to be here. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I'm Georgia Williams, and this is Chris Verrico of Rio Silver.